Welcome back to Cigar Exploration USA. Before I get to what I anticipate is a really great pairing, I want to just take a minute and thank my subscribers. This channel isn't monetized, but I do enjoy seeing people subscribe. That means that I'm probably making content that you enjoy. I especially want to thank the people who comment and say that they enjoy these long form videos because they're my favorite ones to make. And it's a really nice thing, even if they don't get a lot of likes and a lot of views. I enjoy it, and if other people are enjoying it, I'm going to keep making them. So today I've got this Plasencia. It is the Alpha Fuerte. It's a 6x60 hexagon. This was given to me by Whittleback's Cigars. Very generous, thank you, sir. This is at least a $20 stick. Not a big 6x60 fan, but obviously I'm smoking this thing. I'm sure I'm going to enjoy it. I've heard great things about it. Paired it today with this Old Elk. This is their 4-grain. I had a lot to say about this Old Elk. Hopefully I have a lot to say about this cigar as well. So let's go ahead and get it cut. It smells great. It smells like leather, chewing tobacco. It smells a little fruity as well. I'm gonna go ahead and use this kind of cheap Perfecto cutter today. I used to use this in the past and I stopped using it, and I figured this would be a perfect cigar to use it on. So I'm just gonna do a Perfecto cut, which is basically just a straight cut that it's kind of hard to screw up. So if you're new to cigars and you like straight cuts, maybe pick up a Perfecto cutter. It isn't perfect. It doesn't work on torpedoes and things like that, but on a cigar like this, it should work just fine. Yep, seems pretty good to me. So here is the cut end. I don't know if you got a good look at that hexagon shape. It's a pretty cool concept. This is the only Vitola that they offer that is a hexagon. Now, they do have 2 different types of cigars, so each type has a hexagon shape, but it's pretty neat. I never smoked anything that was shaped like a hexagon. So, and then here is the cut little cap. You can see I cut literally no tobacco out of the cigar, just the end of it off. That's what the Perfecto cutter will do for you. It's nice. All right, so take this footband off. Show that to you real quick. See there, it's got the information. And then on the other side. All right, so cold draw. Okay, whoa. Feels pretty good. Feels open, not wide open. See, it's a big size. Not a giant fan of the 60 gauge, but like I said, I don't know that I would buy one of these for myself, being that it was given to me. I'm certainly going to explore it. So it's got a little funk on it, a little barnyard, cocoa. All right, let's get it fired up. I'm just going to toast the heck out of it. What are you guys drinking? What are you guys smoking? I can actually see because I'm not sitting in the sun, so should be all right here. Whittlebacks sent me this cigar weeks ago. I certainly hope I let it sit in my humidor long enough. He had told me it was okay to smoke the Cuban, which I did pretty soon after I received it from him, but this one, he didn't mention anything, so. This cigar, from what I understand, it's not new or anything, so maybe he's had it for a while and we're sort of sharing the duties and responsibilities of humidifying it correctly, so seems perfect to me. We'll see how it turns out here. I didn't know anything about these Plasencias. I think I actually saw this cigar on his channel. So if you've never been on Whittleback's Cigars, you got to go on there. He does exploration too, just a little differently than me. I haven't seen him smoke anything on there, but he has premium stuff. He unboxes it, shows you the sticks. He just recently did a humidor exploration, if you will. I think it was a 3-parter. That's how many sticks this guy's got. No wonder he was so generous and sent me some. So this on light up is just great. It's literally perfect. The draw is perfect. By looking at it, it looks like it's totally lit. But in the camera, looks like we're just missing a tiny little piece to get lit there. I'm not gonna put the lighter on it again. Seems like it's in really good shape. Left myself a lot of time to smoke this thing since it's giant. So I didn't know this about Plasencia, but they make other stuff, at least at their factory. Like they make Gurkhas and 5 Vegas, which are 2 cigars that I've explored quite a bit on here. Now those are obviously much more budget friendly than a $20+ cigar. This may be a $24 cigar, which in addition to the size, it's just not in my price range most days, most times. It's just not, I'm not a $20, $25 cigar guy, but I do appreciate it when I get gifted something like this. I can appreciate that it's that much, and hopefully we enjoy it just a little bit more. I mean, right out the gate, I'm just getting cocoa, leather, earth, the typical stuff. I anticipate that with the quality of this cigar, that things are going to change as we go. Hoping it gives me something a little extra that maybe I haven't experienced before. Wow. Thing's really great. Okay, I'm already getting stuff. I'm already getting other stuff. I just got, remember I told you I smelled fruit? I just got like plum on it. Some kind of spicy cinnamon. Maybe like Red Hots or something, like that, little spicy cinnamon candies. Oh, the dogs are back out. They were literally just out. And I was like, oh, when I film this, people won't have to hear these people's yapping dogs, but sorry, you're gonna have to hear them a little bit. Yeah, it's a Nicaraguan cigar. So this thing is very nice so far. Definitely got a lot going on as far as strength. I don't know if this is a medium or full. So far it's definitely medium, and it could end up being full. All right, so let's talk about this old elk, and see what you guys think about this. This is my first bottle of this, and I haven't tried it yet. I put it in a glass about a half an hour before I turned the camera on. This is their 4-grain, and this is a master blend series. So it's a little out of my area. You know, I'm a Tennessee, Kentucky guy. This is actually Indiana distillate, and then it is bottled by Old Elk Distillery in Colorado. But this is a proprietary distillate. So the person, the master blender at this particular place, they have their stuff just kind of distilling in Indiana. And then they're not just randomly giving them barrels. It's their stuff that's being distilled and then aged in Indiana. So it tells you right on the bottle, you've got 51% corn, 22.5 wheat, 19 barley, and 7.5 rye. So I don't anticipate this to be too spicy with the rye content being that low. And you see it's aged 6 to 7 years. So why is this bottle on my table right now? Other than the fact that I've never had it before. It's a $100 bottle. It MSRPs for $100, and my Pennsylvania liquor store has it on clearance right now for $75. So it's 52.95 alcohol, so that's almost 106. It's 105.9 straight bourbon whiskey. So let's see what we got. Let's take a little sip here. Let's see what we're working with. I can't imagine this is not going to be great. All right, so caramel and apple. Kind of like literally a caramel apple. Or like caramel apple pie. Some cinnamon on this too. I'm getting cinnamon everywhere today. I'm smelling the rye too, which is surprising. With being so low, it's only 7.5% of this is rye. All right, let's try it. It's been in the glass for a while. No excuses. Is this a $75 bourbon? Whoa. Wow. Wow, that's really interesting. I'm getting the apple, but it's not really caramel. Oh. Interesting. Getting apple and corn, which I guess makes sense, but I don't know that I get corn on too many whiskeys. And then I'm getting like a brown sugar, maybe not caramel, brown sugar, apple, and corn. Wow, that's really interesting. Really interesting. I had always seen Old Elk. I think when things cost a lot, like when a bottle of bourbon's $100, it just naturally gets me intrigued because I'm like, somebody has to buy it. Why is it worth 100? And I'll let you know if it's worth 75. It definitely isn't worth 100. The finish on it is crazy too. It's got a ton of rye spice on the finish, and only 7.5%. I can get it on the nose and the finish on that. All kinds of noises today. Wow, this cigar is just amazing though. The shape is so interesting too, being that a hexagon shape like that. It did sort of like buckle the cigar band. You know, you can probably see it there a little bit. It keeps trying to focus on me. See that little edge? It kind of like, it's almost like the band was like, whoa, what are we doing here? I'm not used to going on a hexagon shape. It's got a pretty cigar band. I mean, it's nothing fancy, but good quality. I like how it's got the extra one up here too. So it's got two cigar bands. And usually, you know, the bigger one is at the top. So it's interesting how they're switched. Nice smooth leaf. Like I said, everything's Nicaragua. Plasencia just isn't on my radar at all. I think it's just like anything else, like a Davidoff or, you know, Padrones or whatever. It's just not on my radar because I just don't, they're just a little out of my price point. Okay, retro is spicy, cocoa powder, leather, and spice. It's good. Not too, it didn't burn though. It's not too bad. Yeah, a lot of cocoa powder and spice on the retro. I like that. Yeah, I like that a lot. The ash is dark gray. It's just holding on. Seems like the quality of that's really, really nice. This is an interesting bottle too. Let's do a cork pull. Nice cork pull. It's got a real cork, but the cork is like set into a plastic sort of, it's supposed to be like a hunk of wood, but it's a piece of plastic. So it says 2022 4 grain. So it's like supposed to be like a stump or a piece of wood. It's kind of cool. I like it. I like all the banding. I like all the information on there. Yeah, it's nice. It's a nice cork. Nice bottle too. It's interesting, it's got the thick bottom. You can see the bottom of it, how thick the glass is there. And then it's got, you know, insignias on it. It says Old Elk Distillery. Again, they're not distilling it though. It says right here, distilled in Indiana. And just doing a little research on it before I paid $75, I just thought it was interesting that it's their proprietary product. So they're not just randomly getting a barrel and then blending it. It's their stuff that they're aging, distilling and aging in Indiana. Putting it on a truck, I'm assuming, shipping it to Colorado. And then this guy, I think his name is Greg. That's the master blender. Then he blends them up. I'm getting like potato, a little bit of potatoes, cinnamon. It's got a lot going on. I'm assuming it's because it's multiple different whiskey, and the mash bill being 4 different things. It's interesting, very interesting. I just did the Joseph Magnus sherry and cognac cask. I would say right out the gate, I mean, if we're going to compare, because that's the only thing I can really compare this to price-wise, I'd say that's a little better than this. I'd also say the Blanton's is maybe a little better, but let's give this a chance. Yeah, brown sugar, apple, corn, cinnamon, leather, rye spice. Surprisingly, there's a ton of stuff going on here. Actually, I shouldn't say surprisingly. It makes sense. It makes sense that there's a lot of stuff going on. Leave me a comment. Let me know if you've had these Plasencias, which ones you've had. Did you ever have the pleasure of smoking this hexagon, this 6x60? This thing's a big boy. Yeah, this thing's really good. Okay, it says Alma Fuerte 622. So SIXTO 62. That's how I would say it. 62 and then the Roman numeral 2. So 6x60 it says. It says single on here too, so I wonder if Whittlebacks bought this as a single and then maybe he had a few of them, decided to send this one to me. But again, thank you. Very nice, very generous. Send me a cigar that I wouldn't normally purchase. Gotta remember, for those of you that came here late, or that just came here, I should say. There's no time that's late, but I started this channel. I was making, during the pandemic, I was making video game, YouTube videos. And then when the pandemic was over, I found cigars and whiskey, and I just literally started making videos about Tatiana cigars. That was my first video. It's still up on my channel. I'm not trying to hide anything from anybody. But I mean, you compare something like this to a Tatiana, there's just no comparison. A Tatiana is barely a cigar compared to this. Yeah, this thing is amazing. Great construction. Feels really densely packed, but yet the draw is phenomenal. Pretty great. Some people get animals, dogs. I don't care what animal it is. I don't even care if it's a cat, and they just don't train their animals. They just let their animals kind of just be animals, but that's what domestication is, and that's what a house pet is supposed to be. You're supposed to train them, not just let them sort of do what they want. I can imagine what the inside of that person's house is like, with all those little yapping dogs, That's probably a lot of fun. It's definitely old people. No offense, old people, but it's definitely old people. I'm just one of those people that believes that you should just sort of not ever bother anybody. And I mean, is it bothering me? I mean, no, not really bothering me, but it's I hate when I come out here to make a video and it's just dogs barking in the background. Yeah, so if you want to know more about this whiskey, you just check it out online. I mean, it's available from what I understand. Like I said, MSRP $100. It says the old Elk Master Blend series is comprised of I'm like compromised. They wouldn't put that on their bottle. Comprised of limited release whiskeys developed by our master distiller Greg Metz. In creating the Master Blend series, Greg calls upon his 40 plus years of experience producing world-class spirits on a global scale to create timeless whiskey blends that are innovative, tantalizing, and possibly even thought-provoking. Okay. In this expression of our Old Elk 4-grain release, Greg elevates the best attributes of the 4 most traditional whiskey distilling grains while preserving a foundation of corn to stay true to the heritage of our straight bourbon whiskeys used in this blend. Well, that's clearly why I'm getting corn on here, because I'm supposed to get corn. A lot of, whoa, just got a ton of like caramel candy on that. And there's the brown sugar again. Yeah, it's really interesting. Got apples in the background now. Leather, rye spice, and cinnamon. To be honest, it's not the most viscous stuff I've drank, which is kind of surprising that it's not more viscous and sort of syrupy. And the finish is a little weak. It kind of goes away. You get that kind of surprise, that like little spike of the rye spice at the end, but then it doesn't really hang around, which is a pretty bad quality, to be honest with you, in an expensive or more expensive whiskey. No means am I a connoisseur. I'm just exploring, but I know whiskey connoisseurs, that's one major thing they look for is the way the whiskey finishes. How long does it hang around? Does it hang around for a while? Does it go away right away? Usually that's a sign of age too. This says it's 6 or 7 years old. You would kind of expect it to sort of stick around a little. I'd love to know how they press this cigar into a hexagon like this. Hexagon's a 6-sided shape, so this thing has 6 definitive sides on it. You can definitely see the 6 sides. Although it's more definitive up towards the cigar band, maybe because it's getting hot, it's starting to sort of round out a little bit down here. I don't know if you can see that. So up by the band, you can still see it's really definitive, and then down on this end, it's starting to kind of sort of round out a little bit, which is fine. I'm sure that's the way it's supposed to be. It's a really just fascinating cigar. I was really excited when I received this and I'm really excited to smoke it. I think the cigar is probably the star here. The retro is just spicy cocoa. Very spicy cocoa, but in a good way. Not too spicy, just a little spice. Kind of makes you want to do more, retro more. I'm just enjoying one of the last warm days we're going to have here in the Northeast. It's going to cool off. I know I talk about the weather on this channel a lot, but it's an important part of what I do. It's so nice when there's a day like today and I can come out here and not have to focus on the weather and be shivering or be sweating so much. It's nice when it's this kind of temperature. It's in the 70s. Yeah, excuse me, a little breeze going. It's nice. I really don't want to ash this thing. It's so pretty looking. It just has such a nice ash. It has like that dark gray ash on it. It's just so nice. There it goes. Yeah, I know I said leave me a comment if you've had a Plasencia, but if you've had this old elk too, I'd love to know which one you had. I think the weeded is the one that people really go crazy for. I'm trying, I don't want to branch out, but when I see something, you know, that's marked down 25%, it's still really expensive, but I really want to try an old elk. And I've talked about this before too, and I may seem cheap for this, but you know, you can go out and pay $20, $25 for a pour of this, and sure, if you don't like it, you could kind of say, okay, I saved $50 because I didn't spend 75, I spent 25. But you know, you don't know what's going to happen either. You may get a neck pour at the bar, you may get a last pour at the bar. You don't know what, if that bottle was compromised. It probably wasn't, right? It's whiskey. I mean, how compromised could it be? But you never know. So this is the true way to experiment with something. You know, and 3 pours, and it's paid for itself, essentially, compared to buying it out somewhere. And I can share it with friends. You know, I may share this with a buddy. He may love it, and he may want to trade me for a bottle that he has. You know, his glasses are giving me trouble today. They keep sliding down my face. So he may want to trade me or something. Or like I said, it could even better for me. It may open up and get really good, which has happened to me quite a bit when I'm exploring new stuff like this. So I know MGP, which is the Indiana distillery, they got crazy stuff coming out of there. You know, there's really good stuff coming out of Indiana. So yeah, I hate to just like say, oh, I'm only Kentucky and Tennessee. I really tried to be that way, but then Whistle Pig came in my life, and I still can't figure out Whistle Pig. I don't know if that's Indiana juice, if that's Canadian juice, if it's Vermont, New York. I can't tell what's going on with those guys. Actually, just bought a bottle of Whistle Pig, bottle of bourbon. I'm gonna explore on my channel soon. Because I've only had their rye, I never had their bourbon, so I want to give their bourbon a shot. This nose is, I think the nose, like a lot of these, I've talked about this, I think the nose might be the best part of this. Whew. Now I'm getting a lot of the alcohol smell. I seem like I got a little cherry there, but that doesn't make sense. I hadn't had cherry anywhere. It's definitely good. I got to figure out how good. I like when I can take like 2 sips and I just go, yep, that's worth every penny. But it could surprise me later and be worth more than every penny. The Blantons, I'm trying to think of the last few things I've had that really, right out the gate, were just like, boom. The Blantons and the Joseph Magnus, those were hitters. That Stellum Rye, that thing I don't know. It's crazy. $28. That stuff is worth literally double. That's a 50, what is that, $56? $56 bottle easily. Got a lot of that plum just now. Forgot about that in the beginning, that there was a bunch of plum on here. Some other sweetness on here too that I can't really pick up on. It's like, what's that stuff called? You ever have like, in Pennsylvania, we have something called shoe fly pie. It's like it's not caramel. I haven't eaten a piece of shoe fly pie since I was a kid. It's just way too much sugar in that for me. But I can't, what's that? It's a dark brown, like liquid, but it's like sugar. It's not caramel, obviously. Eat it. It'll come to me. I like this ashtray. This is that Perdomo ashtray. It's decent. Holds like 4 cigars, 1, 2, 3, 4, and it's got a big sort of middle, so that if there's 4 people could easily ash and, you know, all be smoking a big cigar. The ashtray would do its job. Just a piece of plastic, but I like it. The nose is just wow. It's got these 2 little elks on here. You see that? It's pretty cool. Yeah, it says on here, it says Old Elk Distillery, but I mean, I guess you can say whatever you want. You could call, you know, I could call this a distillery. I mean, I guess. Do you have to distill to call it a distillery? Maybe they used to distill. I'm not sure. Yeah, it's stamped into the glass, Old Elk Distillery, and it says it on the top of the bottle too. Yeah. Straight bourbon whiskey. I like the proof. I like the 95 to 105, 90 to 100, 95 to 105. It's a good proof point. Sort of gotten away from that real crazy stuff. Like I just finished a bottle of 1792 and it was the full proof. It's like 126, 127. It's just a little too much for me at this point. I've kind of calmed down. I used to think that the high proof meant high quality, or I'd like it more, and I think in the beginning a lot of people kind of fall for that. I mean, I was so high on that bottle of Jack Daniel's single barrel proof rye. It's like 135, 136 proof. I was so into that when I first discovered that, and now, I mean, I can get it in Virginia. It doesn't sit on the shelf in Pennsylvania. They just don't have a spot for it in any of the 5 liquor stores near me where I live. They have the single barrel proof, regular barrel proof whiskey. They're Tennessee whiskey. That's just sitting there all day. $70, but the barrel proof rye is I can get it in Virginia for 70. I think it's 70. It might be a little more. It might be 75. I can pick that up anytime I want. I travel to Virginia a little bit, but I just don't bother. I kind of burned out on it. I made a short where I was joking around and I said I was breaking up with a whiskey. I saw in the news today, and I keep bringing this up too, I saw in the news today that there's a problem with pasta. So Italian pasta has like super high tariffs on it. I don't eat a lot of pasta. Usually when I eat pasta, I eat it out at a restaurant. So I have no idea what I'm actually eating most of the time. I used to eat pasta quite a bit, and I would just buy like the cheap store brand because I thought it was actually better than some of the fancier stuff. But they said it's like super expensive now to buy Italian pasta. So I'm just so nervous that eventually these tariffs are going to hit cigars. Whittlebacks, if that happens, you may have yourself a new roommate. I'm going to have to come live with you. Because, I can't imagine, because literally every cigar is imported. So I'm just hoping our president doesn't focus on that, focuses on other shit, because I do not want to see cigar prices go through the roof in this country. I've had a lot of you guys, subscribers, comment about how expensive cigars are where you live, and this channel just wouldn't be here. You just would never have, I don't want to say met me, but never have seen me if that were the case, because I wouldn't be smoking cigars. At least I wouldn't be smoking premium cigars. There's probably somebody that I said this was a $20-something cigar. They're probably like thinking you're so lucky because this is probably a $100 cigar somewhere else, in some other country. It's just insane. It's just tobacco. It's just tobacco leaves. You know, these producers aren't the problem. It's the taxes on this stuff. It's the government taxing tobacco. Why? Because of the health problems, right? Because of the health problems. Look at all the studies with cigars. It's not cigars. Cigars are not the problem. Cigars are actually the least of the problems. And they do cause problems. I'm not here to advocate that cigars don't cause any problems, but cigarettes, chewing tobacco, way, way worse. And I know cigarettes are taxed. Like I was talking about this on my channel a couple weeks ago about I was buying my buddy a pack of cigarettes and $12 for a pack of cigarettes. I mean, I remember when I was younger, cigarettes were like $4 or $5 a pack, maybe less sometimes. I remember I used to travel for work and I would go to West Virginia and you could get a carton of Marlboro Reds for like $20 in West Virginia. And I think that had to do with the tax. And I may be misremembering. We do that as humans. It may have been $25. It was definitely in the 20s, and it definitely wasn't $29. It was in the low 20s. Even if it was 25, that's $2.50 a pack. I mean, you're talking about now 5 times that. 5 times. Yo, these bugs out here, I can't. Really? It's just attacking me. So you do this. So this is a trick my friend taught me. If there's a fly attacking you, you just keep waving your hand over and over and over again until it goes away. I know this is going to sound crazy too, but I hate bugs because it's like the rudest. If a human acted like a bug, they would just be arrested. Like, they just invade your personal space, touch you. I know I sound like a maniac, but it's just how I feel. I can't help it. I hate that they. If there was a bee or a fly and it wants to land near me, it could land right here. There's a post here. It could land 6 inches from my face or a foot from my face. I wouldn't care. But they just like want to land on you and do whatever they're gonna do. I hate it. It's so gross. Leave me a comment. Let me know if I'm just a big pussy. I don't know. I hate them. Cutting the grass is the best too. When those gnats or whatever they are just land on you, they're just biting your face. You ever have a bug just land on your nose for like a split second and fly away? Well, look. Actually, don't look it up. But they do weird stuff to your face when they land on you in a matter of a split second. Before you have a chance to go like this or to smush them, not that I'd want to smush them into my nose, but they land on you and do weird stuff. And if you look what a gnat looks like up close, you'll never be okay with a gnat ever again. It's so gross. And that whole thing when you were a kid, where they would tell you, they'd say, "Oh, if you don't bother the bee." I hated this. I remember relatives telling me this. They would say, "If you don't like aunts, uncles, parents, whatever," they'd say, "If you don't bother the bees won't bother." Lies. Especially this time of year, especially in the fall. Go to a pumpkin patch or a fall festival or anything this time of year, and the bees are relentless. And they say, "Oh, they're like that because they're gonna die out." I don't care. I don't care if you're gonna die out. I don't care. Guess what? When I'm gonna die one day, I'm not gonna go to a beehive and start bugging them. I'm not gonna bother them. Why are they bothering me? I know, crazy, but I don't care. Whew, wow, just caramel, just so much brown sugar and caramel, corn and apple, alcohol. You hear that cricket? That's an example of a bug that's cool. Doesn't bother nobody. Just chirps. If chirping bothers you, well, yeah, then I guess he's a problem. But I could care less about crickets. They're harmless. I was cutting the grass the other day. I mentioned the grass twice now, but I was cutting the grass the other day, and like I must have hit like a cricket, like a nest of them or something. Cause like I swear it was like 1,000 little babies. I felt bad. I felt bad about that because they're cool. They're cool bugs, as opposed to bees and flies and gnats and stupid shit. Yeah, what an interesting vitola. Maybe I'll look up, see how they box press a hexagon shape like this. And maybe I should check in and see if there's a lot of other cigar companies that do that, because I've never seen it before. This is the first time I've ever seen it. It's really interesting. I don't know that it may change the flavor. You know, they say different vitolas on the same blend will change the flavors, but I don't know. I don't know how much to compare this to. I'll tell you though, from exploring on here and smoking some of these cigars that I normally wouldn't smoke, thanks to, people sending me stuff, I would definitely try other stuff in the same blend in different vitolas. Like if I went to a cigar lounge and they had one of these and it was a different vitola, I would definitely try it, especially after having this. This thing's great. Yeah, so the other one they have is exactly like this. Everything looks the exact same, except it's got different cigar bands and a different wrapper. And I don't know about the binder and the filler, but they've got this Plasencia has two different kinds, this one and another one, and the other one's like a little lighter. So I'm assuming this is the stronger one out of the two. I think I saw each one has 4 or 5 vitolas, and you know, both have this hexagon shape, which is cool. Yeah, this is phenomenal. I feel so fortunate to be able to smoke this. Yeah, it's so packed. It's just so full of tobacco. It's like, it has that perfect little spring. When you push it, it just comes right back. Nothing good about a squishy cigar. I smoked a couple squishy cigars recently, and I made a short on a cigar, the Last of My Kind cigar. That one was great, and it came with like another one of them, and the one I explored on camera seemed like the better of the two, so that's why I explored that one, and it was really good, that one I smoked. And then the other one that came with it was really not good. It was squishy, and it didn't have a good draw. Like, I fought through the whole cigar, and I hate that. That's like my, other than the bugs, that's my like #1 pet peeve, is when a cigar just doesn't perform the way it should, doesn't draw the way it should. It's amazing though, to go back to those tariffs and stuff. It's amazing how, like, I don't care about the pasta tariff thing. I just won't eat Italian pasta, right? And I'm sure not anybody watching this, I guarantee at this point in the 47th minute, 48th minute, but watching this, I'm sure everyone cares about cigars, or at least likes cigars or whatever. But, you know, it's amazing how it affects everybody in like a different way. Like, I don't care about the tariffs until I can't get cigars for good prices, and then it's gonna affect me, you know? I don't care about pasta, you know, even the whiskey, because very few whiskeys I drink are imported. Like the Whistle Pig might be. I don't know what's going on with that. But there's no tariffs on whiskey from America. Now, I'm not a Scotch guy or an Irish whiskey guy. I don't know who, honestly, I don't know who is an Irish whiskey guy. No offense, if you're an Irish whiskey guy, leave me a comment. Tell me I'm an asshole and explain, you know, briefly. I'm not asking for, like, you can leave me as long as comment as you want, but I'm just saying, you want to sort of defend Irish whiskey, go ahead. But I don't know how anybody's in Irish whiskey. I really don't. But I am sorry for you if you're into Scotch or Irish whiskey and there's tariffs on that stuff, or it's gotten more expensive. I don't think it has yet, but again, it's just like everything else. I'm just waiting for the day when I hear it on the news. So there's a cigar band. And like I said, because of it being a hexagon, it's got creases in the cigar band, which, you know, obviously doesn't affect the cigar. It's just, I just find everything interesting. It's got raised lettering here. That's all raised. It's not a very fancy cigar band, but you know what? I don't think it needs to be based on what I'm experiencing here. Like, it seems like a really good cigar. You know, it doesn't need to be fancy. Some of the cigar bands on these things are really fancy, and they don't deliver on the flavor like this did. It's just been consistent. I've only ashed it twice, and it's easily half gone. All right, let's get back into this whiskey. We're gonna do another pour of this. I'm just gonna keep this video going. If you're still here, thanks for hanging out with me. Hope you're enjoying yourself. I could turn it off right now, but why? Why bother? Just hang out. Of course, that's gonna happen. Can't complain about the wind though. It's nice. Nice when there's a little breeze. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. I'm just trying to figure out if we're $75 good. I don't know. Unfortunately, I may not be able to determine that in this video. There it goes again. Really like the bottle. Really like the idea. I like all the information on the bottle. Like the cork. Like everything. Just not sure if the price is there. So I also learned something. I was told, I was watching SLB Drinks, which is a whiskey channel on YouTube, and they were saying the younger guy who's kind of crazy. I think Kurt's the old guy, and then the young guy is Trent, and he was saying that when people don't distill their own stuff, it tends to be more expensive. So, I mean, I guess that would make sense, because remember earlier I mentioned how, they have to ship the stuff from Indiana to Colorado. So right there's a cost. And then, the person, Greg, I guess in this case, has to blend it, take the time to figure out which blends work well together. So all that stuff just seems to add to the cost of it. Because there's a distiller who I think was just Sagamore and Maryland, another one that I keep sort of flirting with. I've explored their rye on my channel, but they have so much good shit. But they were just bought by Di Serono, an Italian liquor company. But they were distilling some and bringing in some other stuff, probably MGP from Indiana, but they're still pretty reasonably priced. So I'm curious. And then now they're distilling all their own stuff down there in Maryland. So I don't know. I mean, just food for thought. Just do you think if someone imports stuff, is it going to be more expensive? Or not imports, but travels, basically. You're traveling, you're bringing whiskey. Like I said, I'm assuming it's trucks. It could be trains. It ain't airplanes, I know that. And it ain't coming in somebody's car. So it's either on a tractor trailer or on a train, or both. There's added cost there. So maybe that's why this stuff, MSRP, manufacturer suggested retail price is $100. Maybe if they distilled their own shit, or still distilled their own shit, because apparently they used to, it wouldn't be as bad. It wouldn't be as expensive. I mean, I get it. You can't have a business and lose money. You can't have a business and not make money, or you wouldn't have a business. So, yeah. It's amazing, you think, oh, I'll just go to the liquor store, whatever you call your store, spirits, liquor store, state store, and just buy something. But there's a lot more involved. There's a lot of shit going on behind the scenes. Excuse me. A lot of stuff going on behind the scenes. This is like super premium cigar here. Like, I've had other cigars that I feel are on the level of this, but this thing is really nice. Tons of cocoa. Tons of cocoa and spice. Tons of cocoa and spice. That plum is still there. Oh, and now I remember what it is. Molasses. Molasses is that brown liquid I'm talking about that's in that shoe fly pie that people from don't live in Pennsylvania Dutch country don't know what the hell I'm talking about. Look that shoe fly pie up. Some weird shit, man. It's a weird, it's just, I think it's just molasses and like, I don't know, baking spices and probably sugar and cookies and whatever else they put in pies and shit. Wow. Baking spices there, plum, spicy leather. Like it a lot. All right, round 2 on the Old Elk. Wow. It's nice, so they can say on here, like it says, I showed you earlier, but it says Old Elk High Malt Bourbon, 6 to 7 years, and then Old Elk Wheated Bourbon, 6 years. So, and that's how you know it's proprietary. That's like a little hack, like a little cheat. If it wasn't proprietary, and look, I'm not saying that people can't put on this, say whatever they want. You can't say, you know, I could say I'm distilling whiskey here probably, but you know, that tells me that this is kind of special. It's kind of special MGP. And I'm also kind of guessing that it's MGP, but I'm pretty confident I could say, you know, if I see distilled in Indiana, we're talking 95% of stuff distilled in Indiana is MGP. Maybe it's 100. You know, if you look up MGP distillery sometime, and that's a heck of a rabbit hole to go down. There is so much going on there. I'm getting like potato on this. Almost like fried potatoes? Or potato chips or something? It's so weird. I'm not complaining, it's just weird. I swear that cherry is creeping in. There's like a cherry now. Stuff's interesting. So as I've talked about before, so we've got 2 pours out of here, right? And I think it's pretty safe to say that my pours are at least 2 ounces. They may be closer to 3. So what I'll do now is probably have a pour of this with a friend. So 2 more pours. So it'll be down, you know, a couple more inches here. And then we'll let it sit for a while. Definitely weeks, probably a month or so. And just see if it gets any better. I really like the bottle a lot. The bottle's really cool. Problem is I don't keep bottles. I don't, nope. I won't even keep that Blanton's cork. As special as that cork is, I won't even keep that. Yeah, so it is doing exactly what I said it was earlier, though, where it is almost a round cigar now. It's pretty cool. It's pretty interesting. So you see there, no more hexagon. No more 6 sides. It's just, it heats up and it just gets kind of rounded. Which is not, you know, it's not a cut on this on the cigar. It's just interesting how it takes the shape away once it gets warm, because it's warm all the way down here to this point. This from here up is warm. It's obviously hot up here, but it's warm. You can feel the warmth to that point right there. So that's why it's, I wouldn't say misshapen, but it's taken away some of that shape. That happens with box press cigars too. Certain box press cigars I've noticed get like that. I don't know if I've mentioned it before. Paying attention to baseball. I know by the time I'm filming this, the Yankees are down. Shoot, by the time this video comes out, they could have lost, but they're down 2 games right now, and the Phillies are down a game. Obviously, by now, if you've been paying attention, you know where I live. I grew up a Yankees fan. I can't change that. You know, not that I want to, but I can't change that. I haven't won since '09, when they beat the Phillies. But I doubt we're gonna have a repeat of last year's World Series. I doubt we're gonna see Yankees-Dodgers again. I feel like the Dodgers are just gonna win it all. And by the time this video comes out, if the Yankees aren't out of it, I'd be surprised, because the Blue Jays are just killing them. And I don't know. The Phillies don't seem to stand much of a chance against the Dodgers either. I know tonight, I think they play them tonight. They were losing, they were down a game. I don't know. Most people don't give a shit about baseball, especially not until the playoffs. Football's been a big thing. Eagles lost, finally lost. They were 4-0, they're 4-1. I was at that game. I posted some shorts from the Eagles game before, but I don't like to do it every single time I go there. I'm really lucky I got a good tailgate I go to right next to the stadium. But Denver beat them the other day. I love the ash on this thing. Like, it's just so gray. It's so dark and trying to think how many whiskey, you know, I don't want to say producers, I guess, what does it say, bottled, whatever, whiskey names and begin with the name Old. Now, of course, now that I just put myself on the spot, I can only think of 2. I can only think of Old Forester and Old Elk. Old Tub, that's a Jim Beam product. Put a short out on that. If not before this video, it'll come out soon. That's a hell of a name for a whiskey, Old Tub. Just doesn't sound good. Like, it just sounds like, oh, you made that whiskey in an old tub. Old Elk just makes me think like, oh, that deer got lucky a lot, or that elk got lucky a lot. To be old, running around the forest, not getting shot. So I think I'd say by the time on this video, we got about an hour on this cigar, and look, we got a bunch of it left. I mean, this thing is, This thing is brutal in the best possible way. These 6x60s, man, they are typically called a Gordo. This is a what, a hexagon. Leaf's cracking a little bit. And again, I think that's just the heat. The heat on this thing just is brutal. Starting to just change everything. Turn this hexagon into a round cigar, and I mean round. This thing is not a hexagon anymore. And you got this little crack here. See it? As usual, I'm being attacked. There it is. It just kind of split on its own. Now, the cigar band might have been there, but when I took it off, I didn't notice anything. I just noticed it just now. Again, no big deal. All right, let's ash for a third time. Each ash is like an inch long. Maybe a little less than an inch. Whew, man. Thing is real good. It's not even kicking my butt that bad. It's a little bit. It's a little intense. I'm starting to get that buzz I've talked about before between the whiskey and the cigar. It's a good thing, but starting to feel it a little bit. Wow. Baking spice, apple, corn, brown sugar, caramel candy, just you name it. This thing is full of it. It's just got a ton of shit going on. I think this is worth it. I know it took me an hour to figure that out, but I think it's worth it. I think $75 price point on here, you know, probably 80 with tax, close to 80. I think it's worth it. I think if it opens up a little bit, it'll definitely be worth it. You know, you gotta figure out your budget. You know, you don't want to overspend on something just because I think it's good. I don't know that I'd spend 100. You know, where I live, our sales tax is 6%, so this would be a $106 bottle. I don't think so. I think I like the $80, a little less than $80. Even then, it's a little pricey, but I think if you want something kind of unique, this is a pretty unique whiskey. It's interesting too. I wish this was cask strength. And I know I just got done saying I don't want things that are high proof, but you know, it doesn't explain, like, why proof it down to 106? Like, what's the point of that? Is that a specific proof point that they did on purpose? Or is that just where it ended up? You know, it's just an interesting 105.9, right? It's just an interesting proof point for something that's not cask. You would think if it was, I mean, maybe they, you know, that's the proof point that they figured was best. I'm assuming. You know, this guy, this master distiller guy, he obviously knows more about whiskey than me. So it makes sense. think this cigar has gotten a little more leathery, but not intolerable. There's nothing wrong with it. I'll finish the last quarter of it. Anything I find in here, I'll put in the description. Let you guys know if I find anything else, but I think we pretty much figured out that this cigar is fantastic. This whiskey is okay. It's it may be worth it for somebody that wants to explore a blend, 4-grain blend like this. It's got a great bottle. Really good bottle, like one of the best bottles I've seen. All right, one more sip of whiskey. These flies, man. That's what happens when you live near a farm. All right, everybody. Take care of yourselves and each other, and I will see you guys in the next video. Coming soon. Like I said, I appreciate you being here. I appreciate everybody that subscribes. It's not monetized. It's not a monetized channel, but it's nice to see people subscribing. It means that I'm at least making content that you like to see. So cheers, everybody. See you in the next video.